I'm Dan Brown. I'm a principal advisor at the Behavioural Insights team in the UK, which is a social impact focused behavioural science research organisation. And I'm presenting today on how to cause behaviour change using WhatsApp chatbots. To do so, I'll focus on an example of an ongoing project where we've worked with an organisation called ICOM in Chaco province in Argentina to design and test a new WhatsApp chatbot service to encourage people to get their next dose of the COVID-19 vaccination. To deliver this work, BIT and ICOM have partnered with the Ministry of Health in Chaco province, as well as the Behavioural Insights Unit in the federal government, and the chatbot uses Tern's WhatsApp API. We've distributed the chatbot to 80,000 people across Chaco province, and we're currently testing its impact on actual vaccination uptake using a randomised controlled trial with vaccine data provided by the Ministry of Health. We believe this is one of the first projects to causally evaluate the impact of a chatbot on vaccine uptake using real-world vaccine data, which we're extremely excited about. And in this presentation, I'll outline how we applied behavioural insights to our chatbot design in Argentina. I'll provide a brief overview of some of BIT's other chatbot projects. And in doing so, I'll hopefully show you why we're so excited about chatbots as a touchpoint for behaviour change interventions. So to provide some brief context for our project in Chaco province, which is in northern Argentina, as you can see highlighted in the map on the right. As of June this year, shortly before we launched the bot, vaccine supply hadn't been a major issue, and the uptake of the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine was reasonably high, with 83% of the eligible population aged 3 and over having received their first dose. However, only 70% of people had completed their primary course of the vaccine, and the uptake of the booster dose was low, with fewer than 35% of people having had their first booster dose. So together with our partners, we set out to try to first understand what barriers are preventing people from getting vaccinated, particularly from getting their second doses and boosters. And then we wanted to understand which of those barriers could be addressed using a touchpoint like a WhatsApp chatbot. We started by conducting qualitative research, including visits to health centres, interviews with health centre staff, focus group sessions with our target population, and a desk review of frequently asked questions on health centre websites. And those activities revealed a few key barriers. First, the perception of the risk posed by COVID-19 at this stage in the pandemic was low. That risk perception kind of fluctuates over time, but it's particularly low when infection rates are low. Second, for some people, it was not clear when and where to go for subsequent doses of the vaccination after their first dose. So people were not directly contacted with reminders about when to get second and subsequent doses. And some people also needed support identifying which health centres were distributing the vaccine and what hours they were open. So early in the vaccine rollout, the Ministry of Health had strategically located pop-up vaccination points for first doses, but those had been dialed back later on. And third, and this is a widely recognised issue in behavioural science, there appears to be an intention-action gap, with many people who've had their first dose stating their willingness to get subsequent doses, but repeatedly postponing the task of visiting the health centre. So how did these insights inform the design of our chatbot? Well, we worked with ICOM to create 5 core functionalities which attempted to address these barriers and increase vaccine uptake. The chatbot, which uses the official Ministry of Health phone line, as you can see from the verified green tick in the image on the left, starts by providing personalised information on when you had your previous dose and whether you're eligible for your next dose, which you can see in the message in the image on the right. Second, it tells you the location of your nearest vaccine centres by asking you either to drop a pin with your current location or to enter your 4-digit postcode. And you can see that in the chatbot message in the left. And if you live in one of 2 major cities in Chaco province, and that's Resistencia or Saints Peña, and you choose to share a postcode rather than dropping your pin, the chatbot will also ask you to pick which part of the city you reside in to help narrow down a sort of long list of vaccine centres in those cities, which you can do using the map on the right. Third, the chatbot tells you the opening days and times of your closest vaccine centres, which you can see here in the image on the left, and it prompts you to make a plan for when you'll go and get your vaccine. Fourth, on the basis of that plan, it sends you a reminder message the day before the day that you chose to get vaccinated. And then fifth and finally, included in that reminder message is a link to Google Maps with an automated search from your current location to the vaccine centre you chose to give you directions for how to get there. Now, whilst we believe that these functionalities will address some of the barriers identified in our exploratory research, ultimately we have to test whether it works. We want to know whether our chatbot actually increased COVID-19 vaccination and whether it does better than simple non-interactive messages. Now, to understand that, we're running a 3-armed randomized controlled trial. We took a sample of 240,000 adults who received at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine from across several Ministry of Health databases. and we allocated them at random to one of three groups. We sent our chatbot to one group of approximately 80,000 people. We sent non-interactive messages prompting people to get their next dose of the vaccine, but having none of the chatbot functionalities to a second group of 80,000 people. And then we assigned the remaining 80,000 people to a pure control group who received no message. The nice feature of this project is that we have data on actual vaccination uptake from the Ministry of Health. So for the outcome of our trial, we measure whether or not each individual got their next dose of the COVID-19 vaccine over the subsequent 4-week period. And that allows us to test whether the chatbot caused an increase in vaccination using real-world health data, as opposed to most projects we've seen, which use self-reported outcome measures. Not only can we test whether the chatbot caused an increase in vaccination, but we can also test whether it does better than those simple non-interactive messages that have been used frequently by governments around the world. Now, unfortunately, we don't quite have the results to show in this presentation, but we are expecting to have the results in the next few weeks, and we'll be publishing them on the Behavioural Insights team's website very shortly. So do please keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But this project is part of a new portfolio of work at BIT, where we're using chatbots as a touch point to cause behaviour change. So to briefly mention a few, we worked in South Africa with Prakout to develop and evaluate a WhatsApp chatbot intervention called Chatty Cuz, which helps young women learn about intimate partner violence and seek healthy relationships. And we found that behaviourally informed, gamified, and narrative versions of the chatbot have significantly larger impacts on beliefs and attitudes towards intimate partner violence compared to an information-only chatbot. In an ongoing project in El Salvador, we developed a chatbot which delivers short educational videos to help young women learn about sexual and reproductive health and intimate partner violence, and to connect them with public services, and we're currently evaluating its impact. And then in Honduras, we've designed a program for businesswomen to receive simplified content about cybersecurity for e-commerce, for which we're using a chatbot to send scheduled notifications to participants about new content. So what have we learned from these projects, and why are we so excited about chatbots as a touch point for behaviour change? Well, chatbots allow us to go beyond traditional communications-based interventions, which are often just focused on the content of the messages and the message framing, towards something that is really shaping people's choice architecture, albeit within a digital setting. Chatbots give people more agency to interact with service providers rather than just passively receiving information. And that interaction opens up a load of possibilities for a behavioural scientist that isn't possible with simple static messages. Now, we've outlined some of those in this presentation, but just to briefly recap, chatbots are an ideal touchpoint to guide people step by step to create a plan for how to do new behaviours. The two-way interaction means that users can access personalised content based on their responses. The flexibility of the format, particularly in WhatsApp, enables us to make communications more attractive, more engaging, and potentially also more trustworthy. So, for example, by gamifying or providing videos and voice notes from trusted messengers. And finally, some functionalities in WhatsApp can help us to make processes easier for end users. So, we saw an example of that earlier where we provided local information and directions based on users' current location after they drop a pin. A key question that we hope to answer in future work is which of these features really drives the impact of chatbots, and that's formed the basis of a new project that we're hoping to collaborate on with the Federal Ministry of Health in Argentina. That project will focus on both COVID-19 and routine immunization, and hopefully by taking our work to scale, we'll be able to design and test a wider range of functionalities so that we can really understand how to best design chatbots to increase the uptake of health behaviours. But finally, if you'd like to get more information about any of this work, or if you're interested in collaborating with us in future, then do please reach out over email either to myself or to any of my colleagues listed here. And to read more about our projects, and particularly to look out for those results from the work in Argentina, you can visit our website at www.bi.team. Thank you.